Dylan did this 365 days of becoming a woman. I'm going to say something that might make people feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm trying really hard to maintain a relationship with
Ruslan.
Dylan Mulvaney says, I'm trying really hard to maintain my relationship with God. If you guys haven't been keeping up, been a ton of controversy with Bud Light and this entire debacle, but apparently Dylan has a spiritual side. If you guys don't know who Dylan is, everywhere because of the TikTok content that's being released, okay, and Bud Light doing a partnership, which caused, I believe, like a $5 million drop in Bud Light's revenue in terms of partnering with someone that is from the Transformers community, okay, the T and the LGTV. So let's look at this story because I do find it very interesting in terms of what people are going through. And I think this, if I'm being honest, gives me a heart to pray for Dylan, okay? Dylan Mulvaney, a popular TikTok star, recently opened up about their relationship with God. Interesting, okay? Last month, Mulvaney hosted a variety show titled 365 Days of Girlhood at the Rockefeller Center in New York City. Mulvaney show featured numerous song and dance numbers, including You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman by Carole King and Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid during a performance of Kate Bush's Running Up. So that's Dylan did this 365 days of becoming a woman. I'm going to say something that might make people feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm trying really hard to maintain a relationship with God, Mulvaney said. I don't think he made a mistake with me. Huh? Isn't this kind of the whole point of the T and the LGTV? Am I tripping? I'm trying really hard to maintain a relationship with God. I don't think he made a mistake with me, and that maybe one day I will actually be grateful for being TRANS. That this isn't some curse, but it's just a different path to the same destination. Gained a massive following on TikTok after sharing daily videos of the journey, becoming the T. Mulvaney became the center of controversy after promoting a custom Bud Light beer on their TikTok, even though the product was just part of a larger social media campaign. Nevertheless, conservatives began boycotting Bud Light by accusing the company of going woke. All right. So this quote is very interesting because isn't the premise of this community is the opposite of what's being said here? I don't think he made a mistake with me, meaning that because is it okay? So again, I'm trying to think through this. If someone says their soul, which is an explicitly theological concept, is in the wrong body, that would then imply that God put them in the wrong body. That's why this is extremely theological, believe it or not. Hey, you want to see something crazy? 67% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed. Do me a quick favor, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you stay up to date on all the videos here on the Blessed God Studios channel. This is saying the opposite of that. I don't think God made a mistake with me, and that maybe one day I will actually be grateful for being TRANS. That this isn't some curse, but it's just a different path to the same destination. I am happy that Dylan is attempting to maintain a relationship with God. I would hope that Dylan would come and consider coming to God on God's terms. If God didn't make a mistake with you, if God designed you and you're perfectly and wonderfully made, created in his image, knit together in your mother's womb, that perhaps God intended you to be the way you were born. And perhaps it isn't something that you need to explore in a 365-day series. Dylan attempting to flesh out Dylan's relationship with God is interesting. It's a plot twist. I'm not going to lie to you. But it goes to show that sometimes folks who seem the furthest away, maybe God is trying to speak to Dylan. Maybe God is trying to point to Dylan that, hey, Romans, natural law, all of the verses about being created in God's image, that God doesn't make mistakes. That doesn't mean that we're not going to deal with certain desires and certain issues and gender dysphoria and confusion, but that ultimately God's ways are better. And I would hope that Dylan would go to God on God's terms, would go to God and think through everything that's been going on in a sober and humble way. I was not expecting this. I think that, in my opinion, and I said this yesterday when I talked about the Matt Walsh situation, in my opinion, we have to be willing to humanize people so we can pray for them, so that we believe that God can change hearts, not so that we can dunk on them and shame them into oblivion, so that we can say, you know what, God can do what he wants, and God is ultimately the author of all things, and God can change hearts, and God can redeem people, and God can restore people, and God can speak to people. And so it's really interesting that one of my disagreements with Matt Walsh was specifically this. I thought What Is a Woman was brilliant. I thought it was great. I thought that's the way we need to engage in these conversations. But I think the way he's been speaking about Dylan isn't so productive and is the opposite of what's demonstrated in What Is a Woman, which is humanizing this, which is not dehumanizing it and dunking on it, but humanizing it and listening to folks who have detransitioned, right? And so I think we see things in very static terms. This is who Dylan is right now. But we don't know what God may do with Dylan. We don't know where Dylan might be. We don't know if Dylan might detransition and become an activist and an advocate for that voice, grace and truth. Jesus was full of grace and truth. And so I think this is a reminder to me, really be praying for people that, unfortunately, and I would say that this is not from God. I would say this is a natural way of looking at this. To continue praying for people that in our natural mind, we would deem as too far gone. Because if you look at Dylan and you look at the type of content that's put out and you look at, some of it is, it's just cringe. I don't know how else to say it, right? My mind would say, oh yeah, he is never coming to Jesus. Dylan is never coming to Jesus. It's never happening. When in reality, we don't know what may happen. Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. And so I would hope that we would pray for Dylan, pray that God would reveal himself to Dylan. So yeah, anyway, those are my thoughts on this. Hey, this clip is from our daily after party stream. If you enjoyed it, consider signing up for our Patreon community for only $5 a month, where you get access to the replays of our daily after party streams, as well as the uncut extended versions of our podcast, Discord access that's private, and a discount code for our merch store, only $5 a month. And ultimately, it's the best way to help us contextualize the gospel of Jesus using media, podcasting, and of course, YouTube. The link for that is in the description or in the pinned comment. The perks are amazing. You should get on there. It's only $5 a month. I'll see you over there, all right? Peace.